computing may still be years away, but even the CEO of NVIDIA is saying, why not now? Quantum computing stocks jumped last week after NVIDIA announced a Quantum Day event at the GTC conference in March this year. This came just a week after NVIDIA CEO spoke at CES, saying useful quantum computers were likely 20 years away. Now, following that, shares of companies like Rigetti and D-Wave dropped over 60%, while ION shares fell by 44%, and NVIDIA's announcement stating that quantum computing could bring huge advancements in drug discovery, materials development, and financial forecasting, and that exciting breakthroughs are being made in quantum hardware, error correction, and algorithms. While the pressure is on, even after the sell-off, many quantum stocks still have big gains from just 3 months ago. Without further ado, I'm joined by Johna Johnson, CEO and founder of Nemertes Research. So, Johna, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, thank you for inviting me, Remy.
Well, of course, there's been a lot of focus on quantum computing in recent weeks. So what is your take on this area, and what do you expect to see when it actually comes to timeline?
Well, first of all, it's happening faster than people think, and I think that explains why NVIDIA's CEO said earlier that it was decades away. The thing to keep in mind is there's a lot of advancement in different forms of hardware, so it's not like classical computing where we kind of figured out pretty early on what a transistor was and how to make bits out of it. There are 7 or 8 different ways to make qubits. And you've got companies like Google with its Willow chip showing that you can actually do things like get rid of or scale error correction so that you can arrive very quickly at functional quantum computers.
And can you break this down even further for us? Because we hear and read all these headlines coming out from the different companies, and of course, we need to be able to sift out the noise and the signals. So give us your understanding of what's happening.
Sure. I think the first thing to keep in mind is that quantum computing's impact on cryptography is probably going to hit first. This comes from the famous Shor's algorithm, which shows that if you can get a sufficiently large and effective quantum computer, you can actually break pretty much all known cryptography. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but quite a lot. That's going to have massive impacts on most of the internet and also on the cryptocurrencies, because they all rely on encryption to work. So the thing to watch here is the advent of cryptographically relevant quantum computers. The U.S. Office of Management and Budget said issued a report in, I think, December or maybe November, saying it's about 5 years away, tops. And that's a big deal.
And of course, you brought up cryptography, and when it comes to some of the announcements coming out from the Mag 7 names, of course, when we take a step back and we think about the advent of new technologies, so whether we're talking about the internet or Wi-Fi or smartphones, or even artificial intelligence, it's all about how this is going to affect the industry and, of course, the implications of Wall Street. So what does this all mean when it comes to the major companies?
Well, so first of all, I would be very concerned about what's going on with the cryptocurrencies just generally. So just flag that as, no, the threat is real. There is such a thing as a quantum-resistant ledger, which can sort of shore up cryptocurrencies, but it remains to be seen how effective that is. The second thing is what quantum really allows you to do is solve problems that couldn't be solved before. And particularly things like large optimization problems where you're trying to figure out possibly the one of several best ways to do something. It could be as dramatic as saying, what kind of foreign policy will not result in a war? And get an answer that's actually trustworthy. That's incredibly powerful, and that's the kind of thing you can't do today with classical.
And Johna, you bring up a very important point, because as we head into the new administration, there are so many questions about national security and, of course, technological security as well. And this is all intertwined. But when it comes to investors as well as businesses, what does all of this mean for them?
Well, I think the big thing for an investor is don't put all your investments in one bucket. Because there are so many different flavors of hardware, I wouldn't want to pick a winner. I wouldn't want to sit here and say, oh, it's D-Wave, it's Rigetti, it's whoever. Just kind of keep an eye on all the different technologies, because it's too early to pick a winner. The second one is to just really look at the bigger impact. What if we could accurately predict the weather? What would that do to insurance companies?
Well, thank you so much, Johna, for weighing in on this vast topic, and look forward to continuing the conversation.
Okay, thank you for having me.